firefighter? Okay. Hi, is this a fire station? Do you know a James J. the Fourth Tedesco? So he's not active with you guys?
No.
Some people can be dumb enough to believe that they can just put on a police uniform, get on the road, and act like police officers to commit a crime, or just for fun. However, what happens when they get confronted by real police officers, and their little impersonation game backfires?
Sir, I was told that you were using your car like you were a police officer.
No, I'm charged with this property and other property.
Okay. So you're not considered a police officer, correct?
I am not, no.
Okay.
Here are several instances when police impersonators get confronted by real officers. The first case takes us to Florida, where an officer stopped a man named Gerardson Mackey, who thought he could play an off-duty hero without any consequences.
Why is the car registered to an individual?
That's mine. This is my company.
So what are you doing with all these red lights?
Sorry?
Why all this emergency lights? Who do you work for?
This is my company.
You look like me, you're impersonating a police officer.
No, sir. I'm not impersonating, sir.
On July the 20th, 2022, Georgia police officers spotted a 33-year-old man named Gerardson Mackey flashing emergency lights in a retired police officer cruiser and immediately performed a traffic stop. However, upon contact, things soon began to get out of hand.
Hey, partner.
Hi.
Hey, I'm Officer Park with the Akron Police Department.
How are you?
The only reason why I'm pulling you over, I guess y'all were, well, that's my chief of police right there. He saw y'all go around traffic. He was trying to figure out who y'all were with or what was going on.
Okay.
So he called out on the radio and asked for a marked unit, and that's why I got you pulled over.
That's fine.
So, I'll just let him come up if you want to ask. Who y'all work for, Georgia Metropolitan?
Yeah, I'm an off-duty hero operator.
Oh, off-duty hero operator?
How you doing, Chief? Hey. I'm off-duty operator. I just working off criminal detail. That's my ID. That's my badge. Yeah, I just work in a criminal detail. I went to get my car checked out because you see all the lights on.
Why is the car registered to an individual?
That's mine. This is my company.
So what are you doing with all these red lights?
Sorry?
Why all this emergency lights? And did I see you using emergency lights to pull out into traffic on Lake Eckworth Drive?
Oh, no, because I couldn't get through, Chief. You notice that's a standstill. So I flashed the lights so people could see me that I was trying to get in the line.
Who do you work for?
This is my company. I'm an off-duty hero operator. This is my company.
Okay.
Yeah, I do criminal details. Yeah.
So you look like me, you're impersonating a police officer.
No, sir. I'm not impersonating, sir.
You got any ID on you?
Yes, sir. If you look in the front. If you look in the front.
I see red lights. I saw red lights when you pulled out.
Yeah, that's sir. That's when it activated to the back.
Yeah. Where's your ID?
Right, yes, Chief. Yeah.
Do you have a lighting permit for the vehicle?
Yeah, right there on the glass.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Be right back with you, okay?
Dressed in a law enforcement uniform with a badge, Gerardson thought he could easily lie his way out. However, the truth slowly began to come to light, putting Gerardson in a tight spot.
All right, Mr. Mackey, there's your ID back.
Thank you.
Look, given with all the lighting permit and stuff that I'm seeing, I'm just going to assume everything's properly permitted and stuff for the vehicle.
It is, sir.
That said, with what my chief's observation, the use of those are for strictly business purposes. You can't be using it to pull into traffic, okay?
Yes, sir.
So I am going to issue a citation for unlawful operation for emergency vehicle, okay? Just here.
I know, let me just talk to Chief real quick before, because I'm telling you how it's going to work. Even though I'm doing this on my private side, once I get this ticket, G-Dot is going to ground me again. I'm going to get grounded. And that's why I don't interfere my personal business with G-Dot. Anytime they run a driver's license number, I'm going to get grounded. I asked the Chief, please.
Hey, but you have to understand that this whole scenario is a big issue for us too, because the uniform and lights and all that. This is when it gets.
The thing is, this is my company. I run my company respectfully. Okay. Because I deal with high clients. This is my uniform. Nothing on me say officer. Nothing. This is my uniform.
I got you.
You understand? But please, I just want to talk to the Chief. I know you're going to still do your job. I mean no harm. You can check me. My badge number is 44 everyone the express means.
Just hear me out.
I don't want to get grounded.
If the chief wants to argue, that's fine, but this is going to stand, all right? Just let me explain this. What I need you to do is sign here at the X. Signing is not an admission.
I know the
okay?
routines.
All right.
I'm a former police in the Bahamas. I know.
Okay. Do you need a pen? There you go.
Sir, please, if you could, I go.
Everything. I point out to everyone else, auto-generated court date right now is showing for the 18th of August at 9 a.m. at our court. The address is right there on the back of your copy. This phone number right here is to the court services. Takes about 3 to 5 business days for the citation. Give them a call and they'll explain everything to you.
Okay.
Do you have any further?
Do I have to attend the court? I just can pay it because already.
Once you contact that number, they'll tell you all your options. If you can just pay it outright, and they'll explain your payment problem.
Hey, Chief.
Have you got a business card?
Yes, sir. Can I step out?
And you're all hot, but what about all these people in there?
I know. That's
why.
why.
The windows for them.
Yeah, I'm trying to crack the window right now, Chief.
Won't you open all the windows so they don't?
No, the thing is, when I ride, the air, the compressor's going to kick in. Yeah. Chief.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be no pain in your hip, but Chief, please, man, I don't want to get grounded. Please, from G-Dot, please. I beg you, Chief.
I get that.
I live in the community. I live right there on 3485. I'm not a bad person. Please, Chief. I beg of you.
I don't think you're a bad. Let me have your business card. I don't think you're a bad person.
No, I just don't want to get.
You're impersonating a police officer.
I don't want to. No, I don't impersonate police officers, sir. That's why I was careful. I present myself on my uniform. Also, I'm a former police in the Bahamas. I don't have nothing to impersonate for.
We need real cops.
I know.
You could apply.
I don't want to. Honestly, I don't want to apply for awkward.
Okay.
I don't want to apply for awkward.
If it's hard to find your business card, just what's a good phone number for you, sir? Okay, thank you.
Anytime.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
After going back and forth, Gerardson was eventually released with a citation and a warning. If you thought Gerardson was insane, wait till you meet this man who police officers pulled over for overspeeding, only to find out that he was an impersonator.
So why are you trying to be a cop?
I'm not trying to be a cop. My dad's the mayor, so you pull the flag around. That's my dad.
Your dad's the mayor?
On November the 22nd, 2021, an officer performed a traffic stop on a car after observing it speeding on a highway. When the officer walked up to the driver, he claimed he was a firefighter who was in a hurry. However, when the officer asked him for his credentials, things took another turn.
Do you have your license and registration? You're a firefighter? Okay. 1026. Do you have your driver's license and your registration? We are stopped on the 95 off ramp. Is that your driver's license? Why are we running red and blue lights?
Okay?
Why are you running red and blue lights?
Oh, okay, that's what I am for something.
For what?
For fire. I worked for them that day. I just retired for 5 months. So
Where are you coming from?
Coming from north.
Where's north?
Yeah, I just came from Benz, Florida.
Who's north?
Where they?
You just said I came from north.
I just turned around and came north to south. Yeah. I came from Mims, Florida.
Okay, and why are we running code?
Right.
You see the issue we're
Yeah,
having?
I got you. So yeah, it's my fault.
So you're doing 100 mile an hour with lights and sirens. Well, lights. You weren't running sirens. So why are you trying to be a cop?
I'm not trying to be a cop.
You're not. Who else has red and blues?
Fire department.
Is this a fire department vehicle?
No,
Does this fly in New York? It does?
they don't have a problem.
Well, I'll make a phone call real quick.
To justify his lie, the man claimed he was retired from the fire department in New York City and had the lights on his vehicle because he was now doing work in Florida. A lie that was about to backfire on him.
So you're not an agency vehicle, and you're not your story. I asked you where you came from. All you would tell me is up north. And then after the third time I asked you where up north means, you stated Mims. Do you live in Mims? What were you doing in Mims?
I was fishing.
All right. Actually, let me even back it up one more further real quick, just to cover all bases. All right. Have you ever been read your rights?
I shouldn't have been doing
I want to
that
connect
fast.
these dots.
Yeah, good.
Why were you in Mims?
I was fishing.
You were fishing in Mims.
In Fort Pierce. Then I came up to Mims to go fishing.
You were in Fort Pierce,
Alright, my friend.
came up to Mims to go fishing,
Firehouse from here, right?
and now you're going back to where? Miami?
I'm going Fort Pierce and then North Miami, yes.
Your first stop's Fort Pierce. Do you live Fort Pierce?
I have a fireman had the house there.
Okay, so you live in Fort Pierce, and then your end goal is to go to Miami. Where do you work out in Miami?
I don't work in there.
What are you doing going to Miami then?
I'm going down to go fishing now.
So when I asked you earlier, you said you now work in Miami. So that was a lie.
Yeah, I was going to a fire in Miami, yeah. That's wrong, man. Shit, you're on your way to a fire in Miami?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, is there anything you can do on the way? Can you please help me out here?
Are you actively employed?
Yes.
Who are you actively employed with?
DXC Fire.
What's the phone number to their station?
Their station?
Where you work at? Thanks, buddy.
I was in 9/11, like, you know what I'm saying? Can you cover
What's the phone number to your station? Alright. Do me a favor. Hop in here right now until we figure all this out. Got it? Alright, hang tight.
The man had thought that he could reach anywhere without having to deal with police officers, but things didn't go as he expected. In fact, it was probably going to get much worse for him.
Hi, is this a fire station? Hi, this is Deputy Gruber with the River County Sheriff's Office. Is there a lieutenant or somebody I can speak to? Thank you, sir. Well, he gave me an active number to a fire station.
He may be, but still, you're
Dude,
you're in Florida.
How you doing, sir? Is this a lieutenant for the fire station? That's fine. That's fine. If you're acting in command or something. So I've got a real issue here. I'm a deputy for the sheriff's office in Indian River County, Florida. I am a deputy for Indian River County in Florida.
Do you have his ID on you?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Do you know a James J. the Fourth Tedesco? Is that how you pronounce that? Tedesco. Tedesco. It's Tedesco. Yeah, James J. the Fourth. Is he an active firefighter at your department? Okay. He's a retired member. So he's not active. He's not active with you guys? Yeah, he's running lights and sirens down an interstate, telling me he's on his way to a fire in Miami.
In a personal car.
In his personal vehicle. All right. Yep, he's in his personal car. But can you do me one more favor just to help this whole situation out? Was he active with you during 9/11? So after 9/11.
Ask him how he got there.
Yeah, oh yeah, he tried name dropping that. He was a firefighter during 9/11 and all that, so he was asking for forgiveness.
Seeing that his lies had been exposed, the man decided to take things further by dropping the most ridiculous lie he thought was going to set him free immediately. However, the officers soon made shocking discoveries that took things to the next level.
All right, sir, hang tight. All right, so right now you're not under arrest. You consent me to search your vehicle to make sure there's nothing else that I need to worry about if you are cut loose. You don't have a problem with that?
I have two guns in there.
Okay. Where are they located?
They're in the cases in the back seat.
In the cases in the back seat?
And then one's in the trunk.
Okay. Like I said, I want to search the vehicle and make sure there's nothing else dangerous, hazardous, or any of that stuff. So there's two firearms, back seat of the vehicle,
like in the back-
in the case, in the
yeah.
back trunk area.
Right.
That's it. Nothing else?
There's marijuana.
And there's marijuana in the vehicle. How much marijuana?
Less than an ounce.
Okay. All right. Let me shut this. Okay.
Can you loosen this up on your hair, dude?
Yep. Give me one. Here, go. Yeah, just turn around. Which one?
That was my dip off right there.
All right.
My dad, that's my
Hey, Tommy, come here for a sec. I'm gonna loosen these up for him, and I just want you here. I'm gonna do 2 handcuffs to help your shoulders out.
That's my dad.
Your dad's the mayor?
My dad's actually retired.
Mayor of what?
All right, do me a favor, hop back up, and then
I can tell you I'll tell you where the marijuana is.
you're fine. They'll search it if they find it. I'll let you know.
That's all I got.
Okay, if that's like I said,
That's all I got.
we can work with that. So,
I wasn't trying to be I apologize.
Okay.
My family told me.
all right, let me get you to hop up there. Perfect. All right, hang tight for me. All right.
After finding pot and multiple firearms in his car, the man was eventually taken to jail, where he was charged with false impersonation and possession of less than 20 grams of pot. The next case takes us to Ohio, where a man named Dennis thought he could impersonate a cop and attempt to run people over without any consequences.
He's got thin blue line hats, beanies, jackets, shirts. He's got a patch from New York Police Department.
And then when I turned to go to get on the highway, he took a sharp turn and tried to ram me.
On the 15th of June 2024, officers responded to a gas station after receiving reports that a 52-year-old man named Dennis had tried to run some people off the road. However, upon arrival at the scene, the officers realized that there was something quite fishy about the suspect.
The lights are off right now, but he's got handcuffs on the spotlight, radio, and I don't know if like the radios work or anything.
I don't know if this was in the. Was this one?
That was in the trunk.
In the trunk.
That's red and blue. That works. I just verified it.
Yeah, he's even got the guardian angel light.
That's what I was looking at right there. Yeah.
Red and blue, or is
Oh,
it?
it's red and blue.
I'm sure it is.
Nah, well, there's
Yeah.
blue and orange. Hey, he's even got a thin blue line coaster.
He's
That
got
ball
thin
of
blue
water.
line hats, beanies, jackets, shirts. He's got a patch from New York Police
He
Department.
says that this should all be on video.
Well, yeah, because we're going to seize the car. That's what's going to happen.
But
Right.
he said
We're
that
taking that.
there should be a memory card in there. And I said, so that doesn't do us any good here. He said there should be a way to play it back on there, but he's not sure. So
What we're going to do with us, okay, since I'm going to end up taking over this investigation, I don't know if you've already filled a statement
Just
out.
redo it over.
So basically what I'm going to
Same
want you
old
to do, okay, is try to be as descriptive as possible. What's going to happen is whenever you get done with it, I'm going to come up and I'm going to ask you probably quite a bit of questions.
That's fine.
And
I'll go all
if you
night,
can
man.
try to tell me, so where exactly did this occur at?
So I work at Aaron's up in Miamisburg.
Okay.
Like Ball, Best Buy, all. So I went to my work to pick something up from a coworker. She gave me some for the kids and the cats and whatever. So I leave out, take a left, and then you take the right because you can only take the right to get to the light there.
Right.
So I'm getting on the highway there, and
To go southbound?
to come here, and he about ran into me. So he's looking at me in the mirror. And I'm like, back up, you're too close. I don't want to back. So, and then when I turned to go to get on the highway, he took a sharp turn and tried to ram me.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, okay, cool. It's gonna be like this. So we get on the highway, and he tries to hit me like another 5 or 6 times on the highway.
Okay.
And then he cuts on his lights and he yanks it to the shoulder. He cut off a car, he yanked over to the shoulder until I got past him and he slid behind me. And I'm like, you're not a cop, I'm not saying. Right. And then he followed me up to Walmart.
So pretty much a lot of this occurred from 725 to
yeah.
Austin, or all the way up
All the way
until this
down
exit?
here. All the way down
So he tried to hit you multiple times.
Yeah, and then he was trying to go around me and get in front of me. I wasn't letting it
Trying to
happen.
slow it
I
down.
was pacing traffic the next.
You had your wife,
girlfriend, 2 kids.
Girlfriend, 2 kids
Yep.
in the car? Okay. All right, yeah, so what I'll have you do then, just print your name for me, okay? I'll fill out the rest and then just say on and then just start kind of right down in here. Just tell me what happened.
That's the start. I got you.
After getting more shocking information about Dennis from the witness, the officers then decided to establish contact with Dennis, who seemed unbothered.
He takes a sharper turn to go around and he tries to hit me, and I'm like, what's your problem?
Right.
I was looking at him in the mirror, and he's like throwing his hand up, and I'm like this, like you're too close. I was telling him too close, back up. That's all I did.
Okay.
And then we got on the highway, and then it got stupid.
Right. Did he activate any lights?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he did. He had his headlights blinking, and then he had the rear. Because when he pulled over, I seen the rear of it was lit up, and I'm like, what the
So you said there was his lights?
rear, like on the trunk there, the lid, they were on, and his front headlights, they were strobing.
So rear trunk.
That's the only ones I seen.
And what color were they?
They were, I want to say yellow or red and orange maybe, I don't know. Like it was weird looking. That's what made me know he wasn't you ain't.
And then you said his front,
the headlights were blinking.
Okay.
Now, can you guys check his dash cam and see too?
I can tell you this, we're seizing the whole car. Yeah. Our car's ours now. So like we're gonna go through and get a warrant to take everything out. All the police equipment still is gonna come with us, but everything else, like with the dash camera and so forth,
Yeah, it's all looking good, whatever. It's crazy. What all does he have? I was wanting to look, but I was like, I don't want to get in trouble. Like,
I mean, he's got whatever radios, handcuffs, flexi cuffs. You can see the traffic vest. He had a gun on him.
So he's want to be a cop that's not a cop.
Possibly, yeah. Well, I haven't talked to him yet. So,
yeah, if he would have followed me at Walmart all the way, because he stopped at the street before Walmart, like you can turn in by McDonald's. I went to the next street over, and I watched him. He turned in and pulled right back out.
Okay.
And then I spun around and came back out and seen which way he was going, and they pulled him there.
Hello, sir.
How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
I've had better days.
Been better? Yep. I totally get you. What's your name?
Dennis Mead.
Dennis. Perfect. All right, sir. So I'm just going to read you something. I'm not sure if the other officer did or not, but since I'm going to be talking with you, so we do, okay? So you have the right to remain silent.
It turned out that Dennis had been caught previously for impersonating a cop. He was eventually taken to jail where he was charged with impersonation. The next case is a case of this man who thought he could live out his fantasies of being a fake cop and go scot-free.
I'm not playing any game. I'm not playing any games. I wouldn't lie. I wouldn't lie if I lied. You do, but you know, because you're impersonating a police officer.
You are not a police officer.
Correct.
You cannot do that. If you would like to become a police officer, we're hiring.
On November the 4th, 2023, state police were summoned to assist an off-duty New Mexico State Police captain who had encountered a troubling situation while traveling on the I-40. The captain had reported an attempt to pull him over, a situation that immediately raised red flags. The captain suspected that someone had used flashing lights to mimic law enforcement. Upon arrival, the officers engaged with Ronald Portillo, the individual involved, who would later contest everything, sparking a heated exchange.
How you doing, sir? Officer Galliano, State Police. Who are you with?
Teal.
Do you have your identification card and everything? I'm sorry to bother you, but...
This guy's been following me.
I know who it is.
Okay.
So, I understand you were slowing traffic down on the highway?
No.
You sure about that?
100%.
Can you go and pull that out, please?
How you doing, sir?
Good.
What's your name?
In charge.
I'm in charge.
Sergeant.
Okay.
What's your name, sir?
Sorry.
Okay, so I was told that you were using your car like you were a police officer.
No. Well, you should have showed it, right? You're in my truck. I told you to show it in your truck. You're on private property right now.
You have your driver's license, sir?
No, I'm not giving it. You have that.
Okay, well...
I'm in charge of this right now.
Okay. You're in charge of what?
I'm charged of this property and other properties.
Okay, and that's fine. But over there on the highway, where you lit up cars and you were using your car like a police car...
There's no proof.
Okay, hear me out. I'm investigating something, right? And if you refuse to give me your driver's license, I can detain you and arrest you.
Okay, detain me then.
Okay. Turn around.
No.
Don't
No.
resist.
No.
Resist, man.
No.
Hey, knock it off. Knock it.
Let go. I haven't done anything wrong.
Hey, don't, man.
Stop pulling away. Stop pulling away.
Don't do it. Knock it off. Well, then why are you resisting?
Now you're resisting arrest. Now you're resisting. Could have just gave me your ID.
I gave you ID.
Could have given me your driver's license.
I understand that.
All right.
Well, you know.
Do me a favor. You have any other weapons on you?
Well, mace.
Okay.
You got mags. Any other weapons, sir?
Mace.
Is that recording?
Yes.
Excellent.
The officers continued to search him, but he claimed innocence and started being difficult.
There's nothing in there. There's nothing else.
I still gotta check you.
Without gloves?
Yeah. I don't care. What do you got in there?
Where do you keep your cuff keys?
And no one's
You got cuffs? Where do you got the cuff keys?
They're on my lap. Dirty checker.
I mean, this could have gone a lot easier, man.
It was easier. I gave you my ID, and that's who it was.
I asked for your driver's license. You refused.
Yes, sir. Because I didn't break the law.
Yes, sir.
No,
You did.
sir. I didn't.
Okay, well, I was investigating you breaking the law.
Okay, but that's still not breaking the law, right?
Nothing else? All right, do me a favor. Have a seat here on the sidewalk.
No, I don't want to sit. I'd rather just stand.
Okay, well, you could sit in the back of a car or on the sidewalk.
I'll be sitting here.
Okay, then sit down. Sit down or in the back of a car.
Wait,
you pick one.
Can you two?
Back of a
fix
car
this one?
or right here?
Can you fix this one real fast? My left. It's on my phone, just a little bit.
Handcuffs are not meant to be comfortable, man.
Man, I know.
Do you want to sit on the sidewalk or in the back of a unit?
How about if I lean against the unit?
You can sit on the sidewalk or in the back of a
If I
unit.
just lean on a unit.
All right, back of the unit.
I have a bad back
right.
from my rack.
Well, we'll be gentle.
You've got to be gentle.
All right.
Okay.
Have a seat.
All right.
Where can I get your driver's license?
It's in my wallet.
Where's your wallet?
Yeah, I got it.
You threw it on the floor.
All right. Have a seat. I don't know why you want to argue with us, man.
Man, I didn't light up.
Okay.
He has no proof. I didn't light up anything.
Okay.
I was coming to work. Every time I come to work, I clock in right here.
516 income.
That's all I do.
Just watching.
The card you presented us, what powers does that give you?
I'm a PPO, which gives me, I'm not a level 3 security officer. I'm above a level 3.
Okay, so you're not considered a police officer, correct?
I am not, no.
Okay. So
I'm
you
a
understand?
patrol.
You understand that by when we were asking for your ID, you're under investigation. You were asking for your ID.
Under investigation if I committed.
That's what we're investigating, which is why we asked your ID. When you refuse to give it.
Ronald went on to justify his actions as he narrated his job description as a police officer.
I live in Edgewood. I come here, I clock in. This is my first post. Then we go to Central and Eubank. And we just run all of those all the way down to I didn't light them up. I didn't do anything. I know that's against the law to pose as an officer. I'm a PPO for the state. I work for this company, and we're cleaning house here.
Do you want me to ask you how long you work for them? How long have you been a PPO?
I've been a PPO for a month, and I've worked here for 3 weeks.
3 weeks? Okay.
Yeah. And then prior to that, I was a private, security, overseas.
Okay. Military?
Well, not military then, but 28 years military.
Okay.
So he started following me and started getting close and getting close. I asked him to show his ID. He refused to show his ID. And so I started backing up. Look, last night, we busted a guy that there's so much here. There was a guy yesterday that I busted that went into the place of the the laundromat, next to the laundromat. He went in there, then he tried to carjack somebody. So that's what I do. Nothing more. So I have my K9. And that's what I do. I don't know what his problem is. But he followed me, he tailgated me, and he decided to call you guys. That's it.
Okay.
So when he started coming up towards me, then I went towards him and saw what the problem is, because you didn't know. He didn't identify himself. He didn't show his badge. He's shaking. That was it. Nothing more. I have nothing to worry about. So I backed up. So over there, I came into here. When I'm going to stop, my lights on so traffic could go around right here in this property. Because I was going to go talk to the ladies and let them know that the guy that went in there yesterday, I even have a photo of him.
The officer's efforts to know his identity and intentions were met with a lot of excuses and explanations.
I always put my lights on here and to stop traffic. Well, it's for traffic to go around me. And then I was going to go talk to him, but I made my rounds because there's people that sleep in the trash cans. Last week they light up the trash bin here.
When you're coming down here, where are you coming from? Edgewood?
And then once I hit here.
Edgewood's home?
Yeah. And then once I hit here, I usually go through the Smith's entrance, like coming into there.
Okay.
I guess. And then so I drive around and he started following me. I mean, he, you know, when people confront us, especially here, it's a whole different show. You know how it is here.
Yeah.
So, you know, and that's what we did. The owners hired us to clean house here. So last week, there was at McDonald's, the bank there. Then also there was sold behind Verizon. So that's what we do. That's it. I don't need to light anybody up. And so when you guys stopped me, I didn't do wrong. It's just that when you ask for my ID, I haven't done anything wrong. So that's why.
So you're in detainment. We're talking to you. We're completing an investigation. Advised you were completing an investigation.
Right.
At that point, you are obligated to provide.
Am I in this?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Stay arrested now. As a PPO officer, you should know that.
I do, but that's
So-
if I did something wrong, though. So I had a guy.
We didn't accuse anything. We
No,
simply stated we were completing an investigation.
Right.
We had just started. We need to identify who you are and
Okay.
who that
Well,
is.
I apologize then.
And then so then when you refuse, my sergeant did advise you.
Okay.
You'll go in cuffs, right?
That's
At which point now you're in cuffs. So that's where we're at right now.
So this guy, so as not saying that he's an officer of any kind, and he's shaking really bad. He doesn't show his badge. He says it's in his vehicle. I'm like, okay, well, go get it. He's like, I refuse. I'm not going to get it. I'm telling you who am I. Hey, you know what? He could have easily walked up to his vehicle.
Your radio, does that connect to you? Do you guys have your own personal dispatch?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you call for backup? Call for his
No,
request,
because
or
right now there's only me coming in early
are
to
you
here.
scheduled to work today?
I am.
Despite his protests and attempts to deflect scrutiny, the officers remained steadfast in their pursuit of clarification.
So is there anybody at your dispatch center right now?
No, there's I guess like a lieutenant on duty or whatever that is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
So
just
I
wondering
just
in case
clocked
you
in.
need backup or something, man.
You know what? Honestly, we do. There's a list underneath my thing, but we do Eubank and Central. We do Louisiana. We do the Schwans. We do all of the Days Inn, La Quinta Inn. We do all that. And we clear house.
So I'll ask you kind of a funny question here. So what if this gentleman over here has proof of you on the highway? What's that going to be?
Not gonna be anything. I don't have it. He has no proof.
That you know of?
No, because I was passing. Because he was passing
Here's the
at
thing.
75 miles an hour.
How did we know to get over here so fast?
Because he stopped and was following me. That's why.
I'm trying to give you the benefit of the
No,
doubt.
no,
here,
I'm
so-
getting the benefit of the doubt because I kicked on my lights the minute I get here.
Lights in here is fine. This
Right,
is,
and this is
private
private property,
yeah.
and that's exactly what happened.
So I'm just kind of giving you again.
Yeah.
If we're pulling up right as you're turning, you've only been in here a couple minutes when he confronts you, right?
Right. He stopped me, so he's
Just a couple
over
minutes.
here.
Just a couple minutes.
No, not really a couple minutes because he follows me into here. right? And then I do my usual rotations. He stops, then he starts backing up, right? I pull up behind me, I look at his license plate, so I turn on my lights over here to get some of the people out, like those, right there. And then and so he was on his phone. So I turn around, I come back around, and he's confronting me right here. Opens the door, says he's state police. If I heard that for every dollar, you know, as an officer, not only is he supposed to show his badge, but he refused to go in his car.
Ironically, Ronald kept refusing to acknowledge his mistakes and continued to justify his actions throughout the encounter.
I was like, show me. I backed up. I said, show me where the badge is. He doesn't go. I mean, if he's saying his badge is there, and even you guys, why wouldn't you show your badge? He said it's in his, no, in civilian clothes. And I gave you the opportunity. I back up. I said, go ahead, get in your vehicle and show me your badge. Then everything would have been smooth, but he didn't want to do that.
Well, I mean, you know, coming from a law enforcement standpoint, if somebody you don't know who's wearing a on their hip, right, requesting your identification or your badge, am I going to take my eyes off you and that knowing I'm a law enforcement officer?
No, but he was shaking. So a lot of times, if you're a law enforcement officer, you guys deal with this daily. Okay. And you're not going to...
Doesn't mean we don't get shaky, right?
I'm sorry?
People are human, right? It doesn't mean we don't get
I know,
shaky.
but I'm not shaky.
Okay.
I mean, you know...
Well,
yes,
everybody does stress differently, right?
everyone does stress differently, correct. So, you know, a lot of people follow us, and that's it.
Okay, you understand the issue, right? And you understand completely who I am?
Until, well, you didn't show me your badge.
Yeah, that's...
It didn't
right
make
now.
a difference.
Yeah, right now is what I'm saying. You understand who I am and why I'm talking to you right now versus a normal victim would be over there, standing there complete. So do you understand who I am?
Now, once you show me your badge.
Okay, who am I?
Oh, not your badge.
Okay, who am I?
You're state police now.
Yes.
But you didn't show that prior.
I didn't.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're good?
That's not necessarily good, but, you know, you understand the issue. And like I said, the reason, as I'm talking to you right now, I want you to understand who I am. Okay, and you're obviously detained. Okay, so I am the captain of New Mexico State Police in Albuquerque.
Okay.
Okay, so you're 100% crystal clear. My name is Nicholas Paul. Okay, you still recording? You should be. If not, they're recording. So if you want a copy of this, you don't remember my name, don't remember my name, you can get a copy of the recording so you understand. Okay, but with that, okay, you have every legal right whenever I tell you, hey, I'm New Mexico State Police, demanded an ID, like you did. But the issue behind all of this is, like, you acted in a way that made me think that you were Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department whenever you were on the highway. That's the problem.
From the look of things, it seemed he had initiated multiple traffic stops, but this time around, his luck had run out. He had chosen the wrong person to pull over.
So when I got to the right, your right front headlight, you turned on your lights and tried to stop me. Okay, that's how I felt. That's why I immediately why I immediately moved to the right, and then you shut them off. So I'm like, okay, this is weird. Number one, dude doesn't have a license plate, and now he's turning his lights on at me. That's why I contacted the on-duty officer.
The on-duty.
Okay. So, and then you continue to do this little evasive thing.
There's no evasive. I'm not being evasive. This is my patrol. This is
you're assigned right here.
We're assigned. I'm not just assigned. Hang on. Can you hit that side button to shut it off? So we come here and we secure. There's a list underneath my visor. So we secure this. We've been hired 2 weeks. It's called Black Eagle.
Okay, this is a company that you work for.
This is a company that I just started.
Okay, do you have a contract with these properties?
Yes.
Okay.
For the whole land, from the whole land, from the whole property by the owners.
Okay.
So like yesterday, there was a last week, there was a stabbing. Yeah.
It's a
anyway,
super bad area.
Yeah,
I understand.
Right. So this is where we come. This is where I come first.
Now let's rewind. Okay, I understand what you're saying, and like I said, your presence here, where you're dressed, your vehicle, all of that, on private property, just like you said, you own this property, it's private property.
Right.
Absolutely valid. Again, going back to the interstate, why did you turn on your lights on?
I didn't turn on your lights on.
You turned on your blue front lights whenever I went to your right front.
I didn't.
How did I know they were blue?
I don't know.
Okay, cool.
There's all in there, so I don't know. If I did, I didn't know. Because I usually turn on my lights here because I was going to go to the latest.
Like, things are gonna go really bad. You're trying to do a good thing, man. You are. I understand the position that you're in.
I'm not trying to.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Okay. Overall, okay, what you're doing as far as the necessity of security for this, okay, you're using your background and your abilities, your military, like all that stuff for good. Okay. I understand that. I applaud that. People like you help us all the time.
The captain informed him it was wrong for him to act as he did, despite doing good for society. However, he continued to defend himself.
I don't know I turn on the lights because I have all on there. It's no different than sometimes my mic coming on by me making. So you know what? I'm not playing anyone's game. I'm not playing any game. I'm not playing any games. I wouldn't lie. I wouldn't lie at all. Just wouldn't lie. I have no reason to lie. I have nothing to lose. You know what I mean? Well, actually, I do have a lot to lose if I lie.
You do, but yeah, you know, because you're impersonating a police officer.
That would be.
You understand. So I've been doing this for 22 years, man. 22 years in every aspect of law enforcement that you possibly can. Okay, from spec ops to which is our SWAT dive team, all this crap. Okay, to no, I wasn't SWAT, but all those types of elements. Okay, to investigations, to patrol, command position. Okay, so the whole thing of I accidentally turned on my lights, it doesn't apply. And whenever you try and associate it to a mic that you can hit with your chin, it's silly. Because I've hit my mic, okay? Yeah. I've hit my mic a million different times, right? They've reported me telling bad guys things on my mic. But that's completely different from whenever you reach down with your hand. It's probably on your console someplace down here. What's your red light?
It's in the center, next to where my cup is.
Okay, so for the fact that you turn them on at the exact time that I get to the right front to pass you, and make me believe that with that positioning, you're stopping me, and then all of a sudden they turn off whenever I go to pull over, I'm retired. You have a reason to, because you turning on your lights on the interstate versus you turning on your lights here,
two different things.
Two completely different things.
Yes.
One, you're impersonating a police officer.
Yes.
One, you're not.
Yes.
Okay? So that's your reason to lie, and it's okay.
It's not okay.
You can continue to do it. It's just part of our job. We deal with people all the time that choose to take this position, whether it's this one or this one, okay, and kind of cross that line. Do I understand it? Are you trying to control the flow of traffic just like you're trying to control crime here? I understand it. I do. I respect it a little bit, okay, but you don't have the legal authority to do it I do not.
Eventually, the officers didn't massage his ego. They had to tell him plainly what he did was unacceptable.
Hey man, next time law enforcement comes up to you, have you ever been a police officer?
Well, I was an LA County Sheriff for 18 months, and I quit because I didn't want to do jail time, and I only had a few months left to retire from the Army, because the last 14 years I was a Green Beret.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is because when I ask for your ID, typically we want your driver's license, right? I understand you gave me your property ID. We need your driver's license. It has the numbers on there so we can identify you.
Right.
I don't know what the point was in refusing or asking me to detain you in lieu of doing that, but just so you know, I can charge you for that if I choose to.
Okay.
Secondly, the pulling away from us as we're trying to detain you, you know what that's called? It's called resisting arrest. I don't know why you would think to do that. I don't know why you would think to get in more trouble. You know what I mean? Next time law enforcement comes up to you?
Honestly, it was probably just out of a habit.
You were in Special Forces for how long?
14 years.
14 years. Okay.
Out of 28.
Before somebody goes into any part of a combative situation, what does their body naturally do?
Depends on the person, though.
Exactly. Just to clarify, you can use your lights and your authority here in the parking lot.
Right.
Wherever your private property that you're contracted to be. If you're on the highway, you're in the city of Albuquerque, you're somewhere you're not supposed to be, you are not a police officer.
Correct.
You cannot do that. If you would like to become a police officer, we're hiring.
Yeah.
Great. But until then, you need to use your authority correctly.
Luckily for him, the officers did not arrest or charge him with resisting arrest, but he was issued a citation for impersonating a police officer. If you thought this man was crazy, wait until you meet this man who thought bragging about using 19 years in service would give him a free pass to impersonating cops.
Well, I'm a retired police officer.
When'd you retire?
99.
You retired in 99?
City of Miami Science Enforcement Agency.
And you actually retired or you left?
Retired.
And you don't have any retired ID inside, right? Turn around for me.
My lieutenant, they're on the way. We're going to investigate. You know, if everything turns out good, you'll be on your way.
On October the 6th, 2021, officers received a dispatch about strange happenings in Miami-Dade, Florida. A man had allegedly been using his red Mercedes Benz to impersonate a police officer and pull over unsuspecting motorists. The officers quickly located the vehicle and started their investigation.
There's a little badge there, like a little...
The officers then proceeded to inquire about the owner of the vehicle, and the revelations were nothing but shocking.
Hello? Hey. Hi. Who's the owner of that red Mercedes? And because we got a call about it, that it was had blue lights in it.
Well, I'm a retired police officer.
Okay. Do you have credentials?
Yeah, I'm a badge inside.
Okay.
But I didn't pull nobody over. Why? What's going on?
Yeah, but we're getting calls that there's blue lights on a red two-door Benz. It's
Oh.
not. It's not
You have your ID on you?
Now I'm a supporter now.
Okay, where are you retired from?
City of Miami.
City of Miami? How long did you do?
19 years.
Yeah.
Too long.
You have your ID on you, man?
No. I have my driver's license on me.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Thank you. Appreciate it. Why do you have blue lights on your car if you're retired? I'm just curious.
Sometimes I had him because coming into the building, into the property, because bloquean el assessment. I can take them off.
You got it.
Not because I want to pull people over, because I don't.
His body language seemed to betray him. He appeared restless, avoiding eye contact, and even adopting defensive postures like crossing his arms. Noticing all of this, the officers decided to dig a bit deeper.
When'd you retire?
99.
You retired in 99?
City of Miami Science Enforcement Agency. I've seen I wish you guys would never see.
There's some in the back. Do you have some in the front too, lights, or it's just the ones that we saw in the back?
Just the ones in the back.
Yeah.
There's a strobe in the front. Like I tell you, I don't put them on.
What year is this car?
2012.
Was it? Did it used to be white?
No.
Because the registration shows up as silver. Smart.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it was always red. There's a lawsuit for the car with the Mars red. I bought it at the Doral Lincoln. It's into my wife's name.
Get with the tag agency to update that because they put it as silver.
Really? I shouldn't, because the registration says red.
So you have lights in the front too?
There's one in the visor. I can take it off.
Brother, my question is, you've been retired since 99. Why do you have that?
We're all good here, man. Thank you.
I just put it on the other day. Because
That's not true. That's not true. The other day, you just put it on the other day. Bro, you've been retired since 99. What are you doing?
I don't know.
But what was your purpose for putting it on?
To get into the building, into the property.
What property?
This one. If you notice, they block the intersection constantly. I don't need to lie to you guys.
You see the problems that so why are we getting a call that you're trying to pull people over?
I'm not pulling anybody over.
So the lights must have came on because nobody would have known you had lights if they didn't turn on.
I didn't pull nobody over.
I'm not saying you did, but obviously somebody somehow saw your lights. They somehow saw your lights because they called us. They gave us the tag to your car. They gave us a type of car. And they said that it had red and blue lights. So obviously those lights were activated if somebody, you can't see that. You can't see those lights if they're not on.
I'm telling you, anytime I activate them, I try to come into a complex. If you
Try and activate him to come into the complex now?
Yeah. Just the front. I'm trying to compare the complex.
You did that right now? Within the last 30 minutes?
No, I've been home already for an hour.
However, the officers remained skeptical despite his explanations. Things started going south when the officers began to press and dig deeper into his past and the legitimacy of his retired status.
I get it, and thank you for your service for Boer and all that, but that was 2021.
I got you.
You know, it's not a. We have cameras now. We have body cameras. We have all kinds of things. Everybody has a phone.
No, y ahora tengo entendido que you guys, the minute you turn on the strobes, the camera turns on.
Yeah, something.
That's what my nephew told me. He works for Key Biscayne for Marine Patrol, and he says the minute he turns on those lights, the cameras turn on.
Do you have your credentials?
No.
Huh?
No, I've been retired for forever.
You don't have credentials?
No.
Not like retired ID?
No.
You have his ID?
I gave it back, but I wrote it down. He has a police supporter badge. And you actually retired, or you left?
Retired.
And you don't have any retired ID inside or anything?
But I've been retired for almost 20 years.
Yeah, but usually they give you a badge and a glass maybe and stuff. And
no. And if I did, I moved like 3 times already.
How many years did you do?
19. 80 to 99.
Real quick, man. Okay, so you were retired. Were you fired or quit or retired? Like honorable.
Yeah.
Retire and stuff like that. Do you have anybody from the department that can vouch for that?
Roque.
Huh?
Roque, which was my FTO, and he's also retired too. Roque's retired, and Belo's retired.
No, but anybody. Let me see your ID. I got a.
My driver's license?
Yeah. I just want to see.
I have a supporter badge now. We did it for autism because my son has autism. Just like you guys have the pink ones.
Okay, that's fine. That's just your.
Hey?
No, that's your ID.
You guys got it.
I gave it back to you, man.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
So nobody from currently in the department.
Nobody. All the guys that I know, they're all retired. Grass is also retired. He works now at FIU. He's a lieutenant for FIU, for the police at FIU. All my guys are all retired. The only one that's now is my nephew, which works for Key Biscayne.
You said Lieutenant Glass?
Grass.
The guy kept explaining that he was a retired cop, but in the end, his explanations were not enough to convince the officers.
Wait, you can't find any retired ID or anything, man? No.
It's my tool pouch. It's a tool pouch.
That's not a tool pouch, bro.
It is. It is. My little
Bro, I've never seen a tool pouch like that.
It is. It's like that. I can show you the tools that go into it. I'm a director of engineering and security for a hotel. I work for the Embassy Suites Hotel.
Turn around for me.
Sure.
Right behind your back.
Listen, this is my lieutenant. They're on the way. We're gonna investigate. You know, if everything turns out good, you'll be on your way. But right now,
you're not under arrest, but we gotta figure some stuff out. Alright, man. You got anything on you at all?
No.
No weapons or anything?
Got him anyway.
Yeah, I will. I'm gonna take him out.
Yeah, can I tell my wife what's going on?
We'll do it.
In the end, the officers searched the Benz and found flashing lights, a PA system, and a siren control box. He was charged with falsely impersonating a police officer, unlawful use of a police badge, and prohibited use of certain blue lights. Here's a case of this man named Corey Farmer, who claimed to be chasing a suspect who, in reality, didn't exist.
Where are you going?
Well, I got to get him on the horn. I got you behind me. I got to link up with them. They're telling me they're tailing him right now.
Where?
On the 17th of September 2020, Corey was pulled over to be asked a couple of questions, and shockingly, his appearance was like a federal agent dressed up in his full gear with his game face on. But somehow, he managed to fool the officer for a short while.
And if someone can let me know if that's unmarked of some sort, that'd be great. Hey, boy. Where are you headed? Who are you?
I'm getting ready to. I got several guys chasing a guy right now.
Okay.
They're behind him, and I'm trying to
Trying
catch
to
up
figure
to
out who
them.
the hell you were. I ran your tag and everything. So
Okay.
Get after it. Where are you going? Who are
Well,
you?
I got to get him on the horn. I got you behind me. I got to link up with them. They're telling me they're tailing him right now.
Where? Where are they?
Lincoln and Lincoln by the Quick Trip over here. Lincoln and Tin Can. They're constantly on the move.
All right.
Realizing that he must be in the middle of a manhunt for a dangerous criminal, the cop follows behind, hoping to lend a hand of support. But that doesn't happen. Corey, weirdly enough, pulls in the parking lot of a convenience store. This move tingled the cop's spider senses. He knew something was up.
338. I think it's a federal guy. He's en route to a call. 1022.
10-4. I'm nowhere near them, so they're gonna continue, and I'm gonna link up with them. I can't just keep driving.
What are they after? Got a fresh pursuit or just trying to catch somebody that's wanted?
He's an active warrant, but he has a gun with him. He has a gun on him. He's a active gang member, and it can't even double bunk him. Annex for fighting, and yeah, he has already pointed guns before, so that's. But he goes to a specific spot. He gets paper tags put on his vehicle. We've been watching him for quite some time, and then he has people that drive him around. He knows he's doing some time.
Notice how Corey starts to mince his words as he briefs the officer on the suspect they are supposed to be chasing after. At this point, the cop can sense that something is wrong, and he decides to fish deeper for the truth.
Who are you with?
Kansas Investigations.
Who's that? Like, who's the local office? I mean,
that's my business.
Okay, so well, I mean, what's your title? I guess I see you're with the warrant for Kansas Investigation.
Right.
What agency? I guess would be the umbrella for you guys.
Well, I work as a private investigator, but I also work do warrants too. So
okay.
I work warrants.
So are you a bondsman? Or you work with bondsmen?
I'm not a bondsman.
Who's going after him? Who's the they?
Zane. I got Zane Nickel.
I mean, are they your guys? Other PIs?
Yes.
So what's, I guess when you guys catch this guy, what do you do with him?
Taking him straight to Suffolk County Jail.
Just for the warrant?
Correct.
But who do you do that for? Like, are you under the bondsman?
Right, yeah,
okay.
It's a big will.
Corey is displaying some visible telltales of a liar here. One of the traits of liars is their ability to deflect from the original subject matter to hide the truth. And Corey seems to be doing just that right now.
But the problem is he pointed a gun, and now my guy had taken off after him while I was static over there by their house at one of the addresses. So there's 3 addresses. I'm over there. He's driving by, but he has people driving him, and he knows it's a cat and mouse game. He's already pointed a gun before. He just did it again, and that's why. And I lost him, so I had to.
What's his car? What's he in?
Black Mercedes-Benz with the paper tag. 2 drivers. One is like 6 feet. They're both wearing white shirts, and he's 5'11". I gotta get all his information. My other guy has it.
Well, here's the thing, Mr. Farmer. You're not an emergency vehicle. So you can't be running around lights and siren endangering lives to catch up to people. Hell, I can't run hot just to catch up to bad guys anymore. We have to be in fresh pursuit.
After trying to seek out the identity of the guy Corey was in pursuit of, the officer decided to let Corey off with a verbal warning. But some people are just set in their ways, and Corey did not heed the warning.
I could take your car from you. You don't have permission to run hot.
Understandable.
Knock that off, man. It's not safe. Trust
Okay.
me, if you crash, you don't want to know the liability you're facing.
I hear you.
I'm going to creep over that direction and sit in the area. I'm not just going to storm the fort. I'm going to make some phone calls on the way, though, and see if it's someone we need to mess with, all right?
Okay. And I'm just gonna post. We're just gonna post up here.
Okay.
All right.
Just 2 months later, on the 16th of November 2020, he got pulled over again, this time by 2 detectives in an unmarked sheriff's car. Again, he was seen running lights and sirens as he chased after a Pontiac Grand Prix in his Chevy truck at high speed. When he got pulled over and detained, very strangely, Corey started acting as if he had no clue what was going on.
That is who I work for. It's a legit business. You can check them all out.
All good. All right, man, we're gonna have a seat in the back of my car.
Sedgwick County?
Yep.
For what?
Well, you're in Sedgwick County.
Well, I mean, I didn't know. Wait, well, PD is what I didn't know.
Just checking on you.
Can you push that in, please? Thank you.
Notwithstanding, the cops went ahead and placed Corey under arrest in order to interrogate him and see if they could get him to confess.
I need to talk to you a little bit and ask you a few questions, but before I do that, I need to advise you of your Miranda rights, okay?
Am I under arrest?
At the moment, yes, sir. Who is the agency that you work for?
Kansas Investigations. Well, I work for, as a private investigator, I work for the state of Kansas. And
You work for the state of Kansas?
Whoever employs me, yes. And then I also am a bail enforcement agent.
Okay. Are you licensed?
I'm licensed under both.
Under the state of Kansas?
Yes,
and
for both, yes.
Okay.
Strangely though, Corey still denies impersonating a police officer, but how long can he maintain that lie?
At no point in time ever have I ever indicated that I was a law enforcement officer, or even attempted to pull over a vehicle.
Do you have any flashing lights or anything like that on your truck or on your car up there?
Basically those white ones that are in the, you see the ones that are on in the county, they're all legal, the ones that I have.
Well, I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Okay, do they flash?
They do when I, yeah.
And you have an air horn?
Yep.
Okay.
And it's all physical to push. Fucking hurt my arm bones. But at no time was I utilizing those lights in attempt to pull him over.
After this brief interrogation, the cops decided to deliberate on Corey's story to determine if his story checks out. And this was their conclusion.
He wasn't entirely sure what direction he was heading. He wasn't sure what caused all this. I mean, it wasn't a very consistent thing.
Interestingly, while trying to figure things out, something that looks like the Pontiac Corey is describing pulls out, and the cop thinks it's a great opportunity to either confirm or deny Corey's story.
Hey, look, there's that silver Pontiac. He said silver Pontiac.
You turned around and you started going back to the west.
Right here. This is as far as I made it.
Well, I get that. Did the officers try to stop you?
No.
You just pulled over right here in the middle of the road?
When I saw their lights.
You saw whose lights? Their lights?
Yeah.
Okay, so they tried to stop you.
They stopped me. There was no me running from them or anything.
Well, I understand that. My question was, did you just pull over, or did they actively conduct a traffic stop?
I pulled over.
Okay, so you just pulled over in the middle of the road. Did you notice that there was a car following you? Did you notice that it was a cop car, anything like that?
Look, this car. What do you mean? You keep going back and forth. I've told you everything I'm going to tell you.
I'm just trying to clear a few things up, all right? You pull your truck up right here.
Yeah, because the detectives were behind me.
Okay. Did they try to stop you, or were they just behind you?
They had their lights on like they are now. Okay. So that I'm assuming meant they wanted me to stop.
Okay.
Or at least who they were behind. So I pulled over and stopped right here.
Okay. Okay. That's what I need to clear up. Okay. Mm-hmm. So as far as the guy at whenever he brandishes his firearm, were you in fear for your life and safety?
Yes, okay. I was.
Would you like to press charges on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Because there's no point in time where I was trying to frickin' pull somebody over.
Okay.
I was heading to meet my buddy here at the east side parking lot. Then he said I was taking too long, so I was going to double back here to go back to the bond office. That's when the detectives put their lights on, assuming since they're behind me, they want me to stop, so I stopped.
Okay.
And it was the only time the only thing I did was when they got behind me was came to a complete stop. I got out, and then we were talking.
Okay. So the detectives behind you and the White Mariner here conducted a traffic stop on you, and you pulled over, right there.
Sure.
I'm asking.
Well, I mean, that's what I did. I don't know if they if they call it a traffic stop or what. They just kicked their lights on, and I'm assuming, So
were you already stopped prior to their lights coming on?
No.
Okay, so their lights came on and you pulled over.
Correct.
Okay, that's what I need to know. All right. So do me a favor. Can you just lean your head out real quick? You see that Pontiac down there?
Yeah.
Is that Pontiac?
Yep.
That's a Pontiac.
I think so. Is there a dog in there?
That part I can't tell you, but it's a silver Pontiac. Does that look about right, though?
Yeah.
About the same year?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
After having Corey's truck towed, the cops decided to talk to the evidently young man in the silver Pontiac who gave them the much-needed perspective they were looking for.
The only video I have is like a 12-second video on the curb, which at that moment he wasn't doing anything because there was a car in front of him. Can I see that video? My phone's in my car. It doesn't show anything.
Corey's truck was later impounded, and he was charged with impersonating a police officer. Next up is the case of Derry Wayne Lambert, who claimed he was a US Marshal so he could get out of a traffic stop.
And who do you work for? Who are you employed by?
United States Marshal, sir.
US Marshal, sir. Okay.
On the 31st of July 2023, a police officer heard an unfamiliar emergency siren coming from a black pickup truck. As he investigated the car further, he could see that it was driving recklessly around cars while being equipped with flashing red and blue emergency lights. Due to the unusual tone of the siren and the fact that there were no calls for service that would require such a response from law enforcement at that time, the officer decided to pull the truck over.
See your other hand for me?
As soon as the officer reaches the passenger window, he is greeted with a US Marshal badge. Suspecting that Derry Lambert was lying about being a marshal, he told him to get out of the vehicle so that he could ask him some questions.
Yeah, just hang tight with me
I
for a
got to
minute.
go back to shift in about 2 hours. So.
Where's shift at?
Huh?
Where's
I
shift
got
at?
to get my car.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, hopefully we can get this resolved really quickly.
According to Lambert, he has a shift in about 2 hours. However, when the officer asks him where the shift is at, he dodges the question. This was an early sign of what was to come later on. In an attempt to get the situation resolved, the officer calls a high-ranking US Marshal.
Thanks. Hey, we got somebody on the phone who wants to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Sir, what is your name?
Derry Lambert.
Okay, what district do you work out of?
I work out of Texas, but they got me down. They got me down in Florida right now, looking into Marion Oaks. There's two gangs out there that are riding on a four-wheeler with a pole on it, busting into people's houses.
Okay.
And they got a call, so I chased. What's that?
What district in Texas do you work out of?
Dallas.
Okay.
My second house.
That's a federal crime.
Yeah, exactly. I know exactly.
Lambert basically concocted a story in a matter of seconds. However, it seems like that isn't enough to save him. Notice how the marshal specifically asks him if he's aware that impersonating a law enforcement officer is a crime. He has just dug his own grave without even knowing it.
All right.
I got red bugs out in weeds when I was asleep.
I'm sorry?
I was telling him what's out in weeds. I got red bugs. Beat me up chasing a guy through a forest the other night.
All right, do me a favor. Just go ahead and turn around for me. Go ahead and put your hands behind your back.
For what?
I'll explain it to you.
I've been arrested my life.
Well,
even after being arrested, Lambert continues to stick with his story, refusing to budge.
And who do you work for? Who are you employed by?
United States Marshal, sir.
U.S. Marshal, sir. Okay. You told me that you don't have your credentials with you, but they're in your...
Yeah, my Charger.
In your Charger. A work vehicle?
Right.
Okay. Who's the Charger registered to?
It's registered to the Marshal Service.
Marshals. Okay.
That's my personal vehicle.
So why would the Marshals outfit your personal vehicle with lights and sirens?
In Texas, it's not like here.
Okay.
You don't have cars like this.
You have a Florida tag.
I know.
Hey, how long you worked for the U.S. Marshals?
About 3 years.
3 years?
To put the final nail in the coffin, the officers called a real marshal to the scene to interrogate Lambert, and it was here that his story really started to crumble.
Who's that? Who called you?
My squad in Texas. If you look through my phone, you'll see the 941 area code.
By squad, what do you mean by squad?
They sent 3 or 4 of us down here.
Who is they?
The Rangers.
The Rangers? Which Rangers? Like the baseball team?
No. Hell no.
Okay, so what Rangers?
The Marshals.
The Marshals?
Yeah.
So what, where do you work out of Texas?
Dallas.
Dallas?
Yes.
What's your district?
District. What do you mean?
Well,
we just
if
have
you're
headquarters.
if you're a U.S. Marshal, you would know your district. 641? Okay.
That's our squad.
Okay.
But there's only a few of us here.
A few of you? Would I be one of those?
No.
Lambert even has the balls to call out the real Marshal.
No.
I'm not a U.S. Marshal? Well, here's my credentials. I am actually a Special Deputy U.S. Marshal.
Yeah.
Here are my credentials.
Yeah. Mine are in my car.
These, your credentials like this are in there.
I have one just identically to that.
Okay. I would say probably not. Because I'm asking you very easy questions to be able to identify yourself, and you're not. Who's your supervisor out of Texas?
My supervisor?
Yes, sir. Your direct supervisor.
Jim Willis.
Notice how Lambert completely shuts down when asked who his supervisor is. He has to think about it for a few seconds before mentioning the name. The real Marshal knows he's onto him now, so he continues pressuring him.
What do you do for the United States Marshals?
I normally just do raids.
Raids?
Yeah.
Okay, who do you work for?
I just told you twice.
Like, okay, so where do you work for the Fugitive Task Force? Do you work for the District Marshals?
No,
who do you work for?
I work for the task force.
You work for the task force?
Like people running, we do raids.
After yapping for what feels like an eternity, Lambert has successfully shot himself in the foot. At this point, everyone pretty much knows he isn't a Marshal, and it is here that Lambert gets completely checked by the real Marshal.
Okay, listen to me for just a second. I'm going to give you a little bit of an out or whatever.
Right.
I know you're not a U.S. Marshal. I'm a U.S. Marshal.
Right.
I know for a fact, 100%, you are not with the U.S. Marshals. Okay? So I would just want to know why you would try to identify as a U.S. Marshal. Was it to, like, get around traffic?
No.
Okay, so what were you trying to do?
I told you twice. I was responding to a call.
With the U.S. Marshals?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't know about the drones out there flying over?
Sir, there is nothing like that. I'm gonna give you a little tip, pro tip. Okay? There's only 3 of us in this county. You are not one of the other 2.
In the end, Derry Lambert was charged with false impersonation of a law enforcement officer, unlawful use of blue lights, unlawful use of a badge, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony.